Good evening. Today, our fellow citizens, our way of life, our very freedom came under attack in a series of deliberate and deadly terrorist acts. The victims were in airplanes or in their offices, secretaries, businessmen and women, military and federal workers, moms and dads, friends and neighbors. Thousands of lives were suddenly ended by evil, despicable acts of terror. The pictures of airplanes flying into buildings, fires burning, huge structures collapsing, have filled us with disbelief, terrible sadness, and a quiet, unyielding anger. These acts of mass murder were intended to frighten our nation into chaos and retreat. But they have failed. Our country is strong. A great people has been moved to defend a great nation. Terrorist attacks can shake the foundations of our biggest buildings, but they cannot touch the foundation of America. These acts shatter steel, but they cannot dent the steel of American resolve. America was targeted for attack because we're the brightest beacon for freedom and opportunity in the world, and no one will keep that light from shining. Today, our nation saw evil, the very worst of human nature, and we responded with the best of America, with the daring of our rescue workers, with the caring for strangers and neighbors who came to give blood and help in any way they could. Immediately following the first attack, I implemented our government's emergency response plans. Our military is powerful, and it's prepared. Our emergency teams are working in New York City and Washington, D.C. to help with local rescue efforts. Our first priority is to get help to those who have been injured and to take every precaution to protect our citizens at home and around the world from further attacks. The functions of our government continue without interruption. Federal agencies in Washington, which had to be evacuated today, are reopening for essential personnel tonight and will be open for business tomorrow. Our financial institutions remain strong, and the American economy will be open for business as well. The search is underway for those who are behind these evil acts. I've directed the full resources of our intelligence and law enforcement communities to find those responsible and to bring them to justice. We will make no distinction between the terrorists who committed these acts and those who harbor them. I appreciate so very much the members of Congress who have joined me in strongly condemning these attacks. And on behalf of the American people, I thank the many world leaders who have called to offer their condolences and assistance. America and our friends and allies join with all those who want peace and security in the world, and we stand together to win the war against terrorism. Tonight, I ask for your prayers for all those who grieve, for the children whose worlds have been shattered, for all whose sense of safety and security has been threatened. And I pray they will be comforted by a power greater than any of us, spoken through the ages in Psalm 23. Even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I fear no evil, for you are with me. This is a day when all Americans from every walk of life unite in our resolve for justice and peace. America has stood down enemies before, and we will do so this time. None of us will ever forget this day, yet we go forward to defend freedom and all that is good and just in our world. Thank you. Good night.
I wasn't looking at it as I was driving towards it. I just heard a huge explosion.
It didn't look like there was any trouble at all with the plane. He didn't swerve at all. He just landed directly in the building. It was like almost like a gray-black color in nature on the plane.
Who can say where the road goes, where the day flows, only time? And who can say if your love grows as your heart shows, only time?
Gaping hole at the top of the World Trade Center.
The streets are filled with people.
We gotta
windows to see what was going on, and the second World Trade Center just went into flames.
When I looked over, there was this guy that was on fire, so I just kind of like ran over, and I tried to like put the fire out on him.
Who can say why your heart sighs as your love lies only time? And who can say why your heart cries when your love lies only time?
There are police sources saying that there is a plane coming up the Potomac River at a high rate of speed. This would be consistent with earlier warnings that we heard from police sources.
2 airplanes have crashed into the World Trade Center in an apparent terrorist attack on our country.
It was a big explosion and everything got dark, real dark, like snow. You can see behind me, all this is not snow.
There was a big shaking, some of the ceilings collapsed. Looks like there was a fire.
Who can say when the roads meet that love might be in your heart? And who can say when the day sleeps if the night keeps all your heart? Night keeps all your heart.
It's horrendous. I was down there and watched it and saw people jumping out of the World Trade Center. It's a horrible, horrible situation.
We're on the roof of it. We're a block away. I mean, see bodies flying out of the sky and you can't do nothing about it.
What they've said basically is the information they're getting from the tower is they're attempting to put down every plane.
And there are flames, there are papers flying out of the windows, black flames, there are flames coming out of multiple floors.
Who can say if your love grows as your heart chose only time? And who can say where the road goes, where the day flows only time? Who knows only time? Who knows only
Terrorism against our nation will not stand. May God bless the victims, their families, and America.
Fire trucks and firefighters, rescue personnel at the Trade Center.
Suddenly we heard a big bang, and then we saw smoke coming out, and everybody started running out.
Sometimes the time just slips away, and you're left with this today, left with the memories. I'll always think of you and smile and be happy for the time I had you with me. Though we go separate ways, I won't forget, so don't forget the memories we made. Please remember, I was there for you and you were there for me. Please remember our time together. The time was yours and mine, and we were out dead free. Please remember, me.
These extraordinary events this morning here in New York.
Goodbye. There's just no said word to say, and it's sad to walk away with just the memory. Who's to know it might have been? We
have been attacks in 2 American cities. You can see perhaps the second tower, the front tower, the top portion of which is collapsing. Good Lord. There are no words.